Good morning, everybody. How are you today? Um, Hope you're praying the rosary, following God's ways, and staying close to God. Because, like I say, Yahweh is the best way. Today, I want to speak about something in regards to something that's really, to me, is just I'm cooking my breakfast here. It's 15, I guess. So to keep my eye on this jazz. Oh, FYI, I tend to use butter when I cook my eggs, or I'll use olive oil. But when you cook olive oil to a certain temperature, it loses its benefits. So, but I like to use butter. And people go, "Oh, butter's fattening." Okay, I know it's fattening. I learned this when I was studying to become a doctor, but I never made it to that point. That margarine is bad for you. It's regarding when you're learning organic chemistry, you're learning the structure of a molecule. And margarine is a left-handed molecule as opposed to butter, which is a right-handed molecule. So you say, well, okay, well, because they say, oh, well, margarine is no calories, no calories, just like Coke, right? Diet Coke, whatever. But they tell you half truths. I'm a CPA. I'll have people come to me and they say, "Hey, Rich, I heard X, Y, and Z regarding this particular deduction, like maybe a medical deduction or whatever, or child deduction or something like that." And they always hear the good part of it, but they don't hear the other part of it. Oh, I heard I heard my travel expenses for me going to the doctors is tax deductible, and then I go, yeah, but you know, but of course, the information they get, they just give you the good part, they'll give you the other part. Anyway, in regards to butter, and this is not okay. So why is butter fattening and margarine not fattening? Because margarine is a left-handed molecule, and butter is a right-handed molecule. What does that mean? And that means a lot of things fit like a puzzle. So when the body eats butter, it's eating a right-handed molecule, which actually fits into the system, our digestive system. We can break it down and use it as calories, fuel, for energy. When it comes to margarine, well, margarine is like eating plastic. You can't digest plastic, so it goes right through you. And in the case of margarine, what it does is it causes oxidation throughout your body. And if you eat enough of it, it can cause cancer. So you tell me what you want. Do you want cancer maybe 30 years down the road, or do you want a little bit of a little bit of fat on your body, which is actually what you need because you need fat in your system. I want to get for hormones and your skin and many other things. So that's my rant on that. So I use butter. Yeah, I use butter, and butter's actually expensive. It's like $4 for it's like $4 or $5. And this is the cheapest stuff. Great value. And I don't know if it's how much of a great value it is. But anyway, so I'm getting back to burn my toast. You getting back to what I really wanted to talk about was intelligence. Intelligence. When I was a kid, I was not the smartest guy in the room. I was far from it. I remember when I was going to school, and I went to public schools. I didn't go to any private schools. I was maybe a little bit above average. That's about it. Nothing more than that. I was never the smartest kid in the class. That's the truth. I might have been towards maybe the top 25%, and that was if it was a fairly dumb class. But really, yeah, the kids back then, well, they were mostly Caucasian, and Caucasian people are pretty smart. That's just the way it is. You can argue about it, but that's the truth. So You know, years later, 50 years later, and I hate to say that, but 50 years later, I'm walking around and I'm noticing that, hold on, I think I might be the smartest person in this room. And I get worried about that. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. I don't want to be the smartest guy in the room. But I walk around like I'm doing this one thing, and I have somebody else that's working with me, and I gave him the simplest thing to do. The simplest thing. I did like 99% of it. You know, all they had to do was submit the information, and they couldn't do that. I'm like, what? So if I don't get it done, it doesn't get done, and that pisses me off because I got. Oh, and this is not just one person. This happens a lot. I have a property that I'm fixing up. I'm not a contractor. I'm not a, I'm an accountant. I'm a CPA. Yeah, I know how to work on stuff and things of this nature. But I'm remodeling a house that's basically dilapidated. Dilapidated? Whatever. It's in shambles. Okay? Basically, not even the foundation isn't even that good. Really, the whole thing is bad. I was going to mention that the foundation's pretty good, but that's not even that good. But anyway, you get the picture. It's a really bad condition. And I got contractors coming, and I pay these contractors money. And to me, they make the most obvious mistakes. I mean, the most obvious mistakes. Like, for example, we were doing, I was helping them out. We were doing a driveway. Doing a driveway with a shovel and a pickaxe. We didn't have anything electric, nothing that turned around like that, nothing. It was all hand, hard work. And this is in the mountains. You got to go up and down with these wheelbarrows, and they're heavy. For example, just the cement bag is 50 kilos, which is 110 pounds, and I weigh 150, 155, right? Actually, when I came back, I weighed myself. I was at 148, so I'm basically lifting 90% of my 85% of my weight. So it's heavy. I don't weigh 350. So and this project took about 3 weeks because it's about a 70-yard driveway. Doing it, like I said, by hand. So we get down to the end of it, and I have a gate. I have a gate that closes. It's up in the mountains, so you have this disparity in elevation. So we got to the end of it, right? And then where we finish up doing the driveway, you have entrance, and you close the gate. Now when you close the gate, well, you don't want the gate to hit the floor or the cement because then it doesn't close, right? Obvious. This is obvious stuff, right? When we finish the driveway, I should be able to close the gate, right? Privacy, obvious, right? It closed before, right? So I said to the guy right towards the end, right towards the end, I go, you know what? He goes, okay. He said to me, we have to go fairly deep, to finish it up. Okay, great. So we had to go dig a little bit more. Or actually, I was doing one part of it, and he was doing the excavation part of it to get it down to where we wanted to get down to. But what really amazes me is he never tested the gate. He never closed the gate to see if we had enough, if we went down far enough for me to be able to close the gate. I mean, isn't that obvious? So I said to him, just as we're almost finishing, I go, you know what? Let's go a little bit further down because I'd rather have it go down too much than not enough. So we went and did extra work that day just to get it down maybe another 4 more inches. And you know what? When I closed the gate, it was about that much, about maybe an inch higher than the cement. And I was telling my wife, I go, son of a bitch. If I didn't tell this guy to go down more, I wouldn't be able to close my door or my gate. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I had to leave. I couldn't stay there anymore. I was going to be gone for at least a month. I mean, for you to actually close the gate, you'd have to break the cement again to be able to close it. I mean, that's not the idea. Shouldn't you test it out to see if you have enough distance between the ground and the gate? So, obvious things, man. Obvious things. And this is not happening. Uh, so this is, and so and I've noticed this. I've noticed this over the years. I'm like, hey, like I said, I used to be maybe a little bit above average in school. I actually graduated in the bottom half of my class, but that was because I screwed around for the first couple of years. So once I got my act together, so I actually started doing some studying, my grades went up. But it was a little too late. So and then when I went to college, I buckled down and I made the dean's list and actually got a scholarship, a partial scholarship that paid for my schooling, which at that time helped me out quite a bit. So, but man, this is a scary part. And in regards to wars, it's not going to really come down to the infantry. It's not going to come down to the soldiers. It's really going to come down to whoever's got the best widget regarding who can come up with the best equipment, the best. I mean, you can have. I mean, if you can decode passwords, then how many soldiers do you really need, right? If you can break into the system, this Russian system, and disable their arms, right, their munitions, right, because everything right now is all computerized, you won, right? You break into China's system, and you win. You go in with 50 guys, right? You're good, because they can't do nothing, basically, right? So, but man, oh man, this country is getting stupider and stupider and stupider every day. And I just tell you the truth. I mean, I'm 60 years old, so I can see, that's the only good thing that's good about age is you can compare decades with other decades. If I'm 14 years old, I can't compare anything, right? And I'm telling you, back when I was a kid, back in the 80s and 70s, I wouldn't be surprised if the people in the 40s and 50s were smarter than us. You know, I think the ball's been rolling downhill for the longest time, even before when I was hatched. So people put that into consideration. Really, we're living in a world. It's all mechanized. You don't have to have muscles anymore. That's just aesthetics. I mean, very, even jobs are saying, well, you have to, lift up to 50 pounds. Lift up to 50 pounds. 50 pounds is not that much. 50 pounds is really not that much. Like I said, I was lifting a cement sack that weighed 110 pounds. And I had to go uphill with that son of a gun. Uphill. That's hard. So, 50 pounds. That's easy. But like I said, I mean, we need to get on the ball. This country, and if you're going to rely on the schools, you can't rely on the schools. Schools are just no way. You're going to have to, parents and kids themselves are going to have to acknowledge or understand the importance of having some brains. The good thing about brains, and this is what happened to me when I was a senior. Actually, I was a junior. I took the ACT exam, which is similar to the SAT. And my English, the English part, which is vocabulary and things of this nature, reading comprehension, was poor. It was a little low. So I took it upon myself that for that summer to read 1,000 pages, which I did. I read 1,000 pages. It was a couple, 3 books I read. I went and took the test again, and I did about 15% higher just by reading 1,000 pages. So, which was, I went from a little bit low to a little bit above, normal, which was cool. I went from an 18 to a 21, 22. I think 20 was like average. So I was like, great. So my point is this: you can develop your brain. I mean, you have the ability to develop your muscles. You also have the ability to develop your brain. So say you say to yourself, man, I'm stupid. I can't do this. I was just born stupid. No. Yeah, maybe you were born stupid. Okay. But you can fix that. You can fix that. You got to put your mind to it. Why are smart people smart? Well, most likely they have the genes. But then you see these people studying and they're reading and all this other stuff, right? They're in front of the computer screen. They're always trying to learn. They're they're building on top of what they've already got naturally. And then you see stupid people just watching TV and becoming more stupid. All right. So if you weren't on the line of intelligence, so to speak, you can get back on the line and start reading. Use your brain. Use your brain. It's malleable. Malleable. You can get smarter. You can get smarter. You just got to put the effort into it. Just like I say, if you want to put on muscle, you got to put the effort into it. Start lifting some heavy weights. It's just the way it is. So if you want to get smarter, lift some heavy weights in a method of reading and learning stuff. Learn stuff. Stay away from just watching TV with your tongue hanging out like this. No, use your brain. The more you use it, the better it'll get. The more it'll function. I was talking to this one lady that lived my next door neighbor. She was somewhat elderly, and she started learning the piano. Why was she learning the piano at 75? Not because she wanted to play the piano. She was using that her learning the piano, that function, to keep her mind fresh. That was what she was doing. And she was doing it more for her mind because she lives alone and she don't want to get Alzheimer's or dementia because she lives alone. So she's scared. So she said to herself, I'm going to learn how to play the piano because not so much to play the piano, it's to keep my mind strong. And you can do that. You can do that. But you got to do it, right? You got to do it. If you do it, you'll get there. And if you don't, well, it is what it is. So that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Be the person that's able to put the pen to the paper. There's so many people here. I used to work as the customer service rep for a bank. And we had about 5 or 6 people working in the customer service department. And there was one guy who was kind of slick. We would get calls coming in from people trying to find out certain things. And he would just send those calls to various departments. He would transfer those calls. He didn't want to deal with the headache. He was okay. I'm going to transfer the insurance. I'm going to transfer the taxes. I'm going to transfer here, transfer that, right? But that's not the job. The job was actually try to do customer service, try to help these people out, which I try to do, right? Now, if it was something more intricate that I couldn't do, then I would have to send it to the tax department or the insurance department or whatever department. But I tried to handle the incoming call myself. And so I'm trying to say to you, try to be the person that puts the pencil to the paper, the person that moves these things, not just transferring information out and say, hey, that's that person's job or this person's job. Be the person, be that smart owl, be that person who says, hey, go to that guy, John, Juanita, whatever the person's name is. So that's the person that will help your problem. Be that person. Be the end person. Like, oh yeah, you gotta go to Joe. Joe's the guy that knows about that stuff. No, don't go to those other people. They don't know what they're doing. You gotta go to Joe. Be that person. Be the person that actually moves the thing forward. Move it forward. And we have so many people who just like, oh, you gotta go there, you gotta go there, and they don't do anything. No. Be the person that actually moves the things forward. That's value. That's value. And people appreciate that. And then you feel better about yourself. So it's a win-win-win-win. The only problem is what happens to me is like, if I don't do it, it doesn't get done. And that's when I get frustrated because I give somebody just a little thing to do. I did 90% of it, 99% of it. Here, just finish it up, cross the T and dot the I, and then they can't even do it. So then I got to get it back and I got to cross the T and dot the I. But I got other things I want to do. See, I'm just one person. I got other things I want to do. That's why I'm delegating this to you because I got other stuff I want to do. I don't want to do this all day. And that's where the frustration lies. So I'm telling you people, please be the people that are actually move the things forward like an Elon Musk. He moves things forward. Be that person, please. I feel better now. So I'm going to finish making my egg because I'm hungry. Do the butter thing. Don't worry about the fat. Fat's good for you. Sugar. Stay away from the sugar. The sugar is going to kill you, not the fat. Anyway, hope you liked the video. If you liked it, give it a like. If you want to subscribe to the channel, go ahead. If you don't, that's okay too. And as always, God bless.